Welcome back, everybody. We got a lot to talk about today. We got PayPal news, which we covered this morning. Now we got some news from Bakkt that's owned by ICE, the parent company that also owns the New York Stock Exchange. Hang in there. Let's roll that beautiful intro and do this.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
All right, let's start with this piece of news right here. A really great post and tweet from Digital Asset Investor, shout out to him, on how God's green earth does Yahoo Finance leave XRP out of this list after the last few days. Very obvious agenda here. I completely agree with that comment. Shout out to DAI. You look at the list here, you see Bitcoin Cash, which is after XRP, by the way, right? Litecoin, Ethereum, and they show Binance as well, but not XRP. Getting dissed by the lamestream media once again. That's okay, because we're rocking without it, right? And that's okay. And I also feel that's because we're going to see something very special with XRP happen that is a little different than most of the other virtual currencies, cryptocurrencies in the space. I've made no secret about the fact that I personally believe we will see XRP not only be an important digital asset in this space, but not just another digital asset in this space, but a digital asset that's a part of the framework of this entire digital asset space. Remember, its full intended use is to really be a bridge currency to all of the world's money and all of the assets that are tokenized and placed on the ledger. Any asset of value that is digitized and tokenized can be represented on the ledger, and that value can be moved around in 3 to 4 seconds because of XRP. Now, I find it funny with the gains that it's had. I mean, over 119% gains, 135% gains now over the 7-day and beyond on XRP, and we don't see it on mainstream media being talked about at all. I do think that there's a larger agenda here. There's no question about it. We're going to talk about that even deeper here in just a second. So moving forward here, we see a clip from Julia Chatterley. Shout out to Julia Chatterley, who has covered digital assets and this crypto space and blockchain in general in the best way that I have seen anyone cover in lamestream media. And Julia Chatterley does a great job. And it'll be exciting once we get past this pandemic and health event globally that we can really see her drill back deeper into the finance sector of things. That'll really be great. So a $2 trillion stimulus deal could add 3% to U.S. GDP next year, says Geeta Gopinath, chief economist from the IMF, but it needs to come soon. It also says, plus vaccinating the entire world will raise global income by $9 trillion between now and 2025. I guess that's due to how many people need to be vaccinated. And then what I guess they're factoring in is the positivity of the bounce back of the economy because of that potential vaccination. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But I will say that Geeta Gopinath was one of the people that was in the conference that I covered here back in August or September of the IMF discussing an external adjustment to the dominant currencies of the world like the US dollar. And I'd still keep an eye on that because remember, it's not only about adoption. We also have to pay attention to the old traditional system and the fiat dollar world and what is going on with the fiat dollar world. And do we see any kind of debasement or devaluing of major dominant currencies like the US dollar? And I believe we're already seeing that. I did show you guys the other day that just a dollar was down in value. And we know that Cryptopolis, shout out to Cryptopolis, has shown us that there's absolutely a correlation between the dollar strength and weakness and the positivity or lack of positivity in the crypto space. And right now, we see the dollar has been down somewhat, and we see the positivity jumping off in the crypto space. Now, a lot of that, I think, is also due to the fact that, Bitcoin is on a run. It's pushing for that new all-time high, which is not far away from, right? And we also know that there's larger institutions in play now in the crypto space. We know that the OCC has worked very, very hard in setting up a framework, a regulatory framework for federally chartered banks in the federally chartered banking system. What is interesting about that idea and understanding is that unlike New York State, Brian Brooks has made it very clear that if you are a company that performs banking activities, you fall under his purview at the OCC. Now, what's interesting about this is you take something like New York State. New York State does not like that approach, and they figure that they should handle things on a state level and not on a federal level. And that's where they have an issue with one another. I do believe Brian Brooks wins this at the end of the day, and that the federal charter will be the way to go here to get the consistency and the uniformity across the nation so that companies like fintechs in this space do not have to continue, as they have done up until now, to maintain these individual state licensure. So we'll keep an eye on this, and all of this is important to note because if you go back to Brian Brooks's comments about if you perform banking activities, you fall under the OCC's purview. And if that in fact is true, and he used examples outside of the banking system by pointing to payment companies like Square, Venmo, PayPal, and companies of that nature, and Kraken, right? And you see those examples of those companies, and you remember that the XRP ledger is a decentralized exchange in itself. Remember that Ripple is begun to beta test a line of credit lending program from RippleNet, right? We also have seen that Ripple has made it clear from Q2 that they will begin to buy back XRP off the secondary market, which is really a tool, a fundamental tool for to help keep a tight trading range on the asset for the people that use it in the areas of industries where they need to bridge a payment and try to keep the volatility at a minimum while allowing the price to still continue to grow. What I see when I see this is new monetary policy on a brand new asset, which is money, which is XRP. I also see Ripple performing banking activities, as Brian Brooks has so clearly pointed out here, and it looks more like the banking activities of a new central bank of sorts, with a new asset or money to be doled around the world and used. We will see. But we are about to look at some more information that leans very hard into the idea and notion about it needing to be money. This comes from Bank XRP, and I'm glad Bank XRP is back on the scene here. Zero doubt, hashtag any day now, I put. Financial giant, we covered this when it came out. Financial giant SBI, which is partner of R3 and Ripple, to test XRP in a $6.6 trillion foreign exchange market. Now, if you want to know what the real intended use of XRP is, well, you're looking at it on the screen. And 60 cents won't cut it. Now, I'm not beating up where the price is. I love this price action. We've all waited a long time to see some positivity here. But what I am doing is reminding us of what the real intended use of this is, right? That's what we're talking about. And when we think about the idea of the real intended use of XRP, we have to consider what is it to the world if it is going to be used in this manner to settle dollars to dollars of one country to another, or oil to dollars, or gold to dollars, or whatever else you can dream up that you've been able to tokenize on the ledger with an asset of value. At the end of the day, if this exchange is going to work to eliminate the friction that exists in the paper world, because mind you, if you create central bank digital currencies from around the world, central banks and other banks are smart enough to know that they don't want each other's money. So at the end of the day, all they really have done when they create a digital dollar from their central bank is to recreate the friction in the digital world that exists in the paper world. And the only way to really solve that is to use a bridge currency, XRP. But it has to be a currency. You know, I had a talk and a great conversation with Greg Kidd, former employee of the Federal Reserve and former employee executive, you should say, I guess I should say, at Ripple in the early days. And he agreed with me. For this to work, for this XRP asset to work, it really is going to perform at its highest level of functionality when it's seen as money. What I find interesting about that is not only lamestream media not showing it on a chart, we know that PayPal, for instance, has not allowed the buying and selling of XRP on their platform as of yet. And they said it's because it hasn't gotten the clarity. Well, here's the little clip that I played this morning. And let me play this 19-second clip for you. And then I'm going to read you something from Bakkt, which again is a crypto platform, right, that we're going to talk about, that is owned by parent company ICE, that also owns the New York Stock Exchange. And ask yourself when you're listening to this, what do they know?
But very importantly, early next year, we're going to allow cryptocurrencies to be a funding source for any transaction happening on all 28 million of our merchants. And that will significantly bolster the utility of cryptocurrencies.
You better believe it will. Well said. And I'm about to read you something very similar from Bakkt here in just 1 second. But I want to make a remark again about this because I did play this morning and I'm playing it again because it's extremely important. I'm not struggling for material on a day like this when the market's going nuts. When I play something or show you something again, it's because we need to keep our eye on the ball. And the reality here is that this is what you have to understand and think about here. 28 million merchants after the first of the year are going to be able to accept these funding sources through cryptocurrencies, which means you will take some of your Bitcoin, some of your Ethereum, some of your XRP. You will choose to pay that merchant out of that. Let's say you owe them $20. You go to pay them out of that. You pay them out of that. It goes to a stable coin. They get the money or digital dollar they wanted, and you're off on your merry way with whatever it is you bought for $20. They don't get the asset. They're just basically saying that they're going to be able to allow you to convert that money and pay out that way to that merchant is what it seems like to me. Now, when I think about that, you have to think about the backside of this. Because you have assets that may go up in value, you could get pinched up for capital gains at the end of the year, plus what you paid in sales tax. You're really getting hit twice as hard here. Or coming and going, right? So the reality here to me is, and I said this morning, are we about to see virtual currencies be deemed as money? So this way we can avoid this capital gains issue greatly, hopefully. Right? Now, with that understanding and notion, we have to remember that the U.S. moved to cast a wider net for catching money launderers, right? And crypto or otherwise. The Federal Reserve, the U.S. Bank, Central Bank, published a proposed rule along with FinCEN to be able to declare a lower value of money, which ends up being $250 instead of a $3,000 threshold. But at the same time, the proposal would also widen the agency's definition of money to explicitly include cryptocurrencies. Now, this is important. This is extremely important, right? Because at the end of the day, for this to be money means that we can get going very, very quickly. And you just brought an enormous amount of utility to crypto assets. And if it's money, the merchant might even decide, say, you know what? You don't have to turn it into a stable coin. I'll just take it directly. Because if I don't have to carry the capital gains and you didn't have to carry the capital gains, just pay me in it, right? They may choose to do that. It may go that far. But take a look at this Bakkt letter here. I want to show this to you guys. So let me move this over here and open this up. Now I got to give a shout out to XRP Vet and Rob Licker for both sending me this. The digital wallets like Bakkt All right, let's take a look at this. With the holidays just around the corner, we know it can be a hectic time for most. Wouldn't it be nice to have all of your friends and family in one city? Better yet, wouldn't it be even more convenient to have all of them in the same city as you? While we can't get all of your friends in one place, Bakkt can manage a variety of your digital assets with a single app. By treating digital assets like currency, the Bakkt app's digital wallet awards you the comfort and convenience of having your gift cards, loyalty and reward points, cash, and crypto like Bitcoin in one place to manage, trade, and spend. With the Bakkt app, you'll have instant and convenient access to these digital assets for everyday purchases. For example, the Bakkt app will soon enable you to pay with your digital assets using virtual contactless card wherever Apple Pay and Google Pay are. Now that is massive right there. Because we all know contactless payments are the future in the wake of the pandemic, we promise not to tell Grandma that instead of using those airline miles to visit her this holiday season, you treated yourself to ordering the new video game system. You see the fungibility of the assets through the Bakkt wallet. That's what they're showing you here. Your ability to take all these things of value and to be able to use them and convert them and spend them how you decide or how you need to immediately. But look at the connection here between Apple Pay and Google Pay. Now, what I want to bring up out of this is that obviously we're seeing Bakkt, we're seeing PayPal. What is it they know? What is it they know? Are you to tell me that the same tax structure that's in place today is going to remain in place? So now we're going to open up crypto buying and spending to all the hundreds of millions of people in this country and the world. And specifically here domestically in the States, we're going to keep capital gain structure in place on top of the fact that we just are coming out of a global economic shutdown. So in people's most direst time, you're going to burden them with something they've never had to deal with before, like capital gains. I'm going to be able to spend my crypto, but then you're going to hit me over the head with a hammer at the end of the year about something I didn't know I had to do? I don't know. But I don't know if that's the way to entice people into crypto. However, what I do know is, if you consider this currency like the Federal Reserve and FinCEN are looking to do in the next several days here, and virtual currencies are exactly that, currency, we're off to the races, and you'll see a crypto boom that'll make your head spin. And when you combine that with the idea and understanding that while that's happening, XRP is about to be tested in a $6.6 trillion foreign exchange currency market. And it doesn't work there in the way that it's supposed to unless it's currency either. All right, that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. This is getting really, really fun. And I tell you, the things that we just talked about have not been felt by this market yet. And it's still going up in price. That, to me, is extremely exciting. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and share with somebody you know. And by the way, I wanted to shout out, you guys are doing so good with the .crypto names. I absolutely love it. This is from JB Bush 1, who has Best Maryland Crab Cakes .crypto. And I tell you, I can't eat seafood, but I know how good the Maryland crab cakes are revered in the Maryland area. And that is one hell of a name, buddy. Let me tell you. Boca Grand Life .crypto, Captiva Life .crypto, Florida Lifestyle Crypto, and Sanibel Life .crypto, and many, many more. You can contact JB Bush 1 if you like any of those names. And I just want to say that all the links in the description box and the comment section are vetted, trusted links. I use all those products and services, so you can definitely click on them and feel good about it, and there may be something in there that you want or need. Black Friday specials in there too from PureVPN and Clinton Donnelly, the tax fixer, and there's really, really great crypto IRA program in there from I Trust Capital. I'll catch all of you on the next one.